Straight back to the start. One of my inspirations, Jake Brown, I believe your surname is joining me for a podcast. We're actually recording right now.
Yeah, fucking for a long time, to be fair. You've been at uni, been stuck in COVID.
I have, yeah. Man, you know, it's weird because I said right before we started recording that I've been like basically interviewing people.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be weird just having a chat.
Well, yeah, like, what was it? The other day I was going shop and I bumped into your mum. She was cleaning your van.
Yeah.
We literally just got talking. And it got to the point, there's some fucking preacher guy down on the high street.
Yeah.
Literally right outside of my flat. So I'm just like, fuck. You can hear him. He sung a great song, Amazing Grace. Great song, lovely song.
Yeah.
But then he starts preaching about the Testament and blah,
Right.
blah, blah. But Jesus is a liar.
Oh shit! Can you
Nah,
say
because-
that? Wait, you might need to
yeah.
move closer to the mic, by the way. Like,
Nah, fucking... What's his name? One of the 12 disciples states that Jesus said to them, before your generation is over, you'll be dead. So basically, the world would end.
right.
And yet, we're still here today.
That's true. I wonder if it was a metaphor. Like he's filled with metaphors, Jesus. Man, it's weird. What?
Well, yeah, it's weird, but the only reason I found that out was I was watching a random video about an old Christian, a guy who used to be Christian. He had brought up a Christian family,
Yeah.
and he was looking into the Bible. He was always reading the Bible, and he realised how much shit basically was being chatted.
To sort of convince people to believe into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot. That it feels like there's a lot of people trying to sort of change people's views by using metaphors that if they don't agree with the metaphor, then
It's manipulation of the mind.
Yeah.
They literally, there's a certain way that people, especially like Christians, they've got a certain way to pick it at someone's brain to make them feel the belief. Whereas other people, say for myself, if I went into a church and they started trying to preach to me, I'll be like, well, you got your beliefs, but it's not going to change my opinion on what I believe in, which is nothing.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, you don't know what's out there.
Yeah, exactly. I do believe we have got a creator, but in the sense of a game, a creator of the game.
Right.
So we're literally in one stage of our game.
Oh, so do you think that like God could be that creator?
Not a
No.
chance.
Okay, not the
It's-
Christian sense.
The way they say it, like the Christians, they're somewhat right with there being a higher being, but their whole speech and terminology and what they use in the Bible is completely a myth.
I feel like a lot of it is, yeah. It's like Jesus walking on water. I don't think that must have been an illusion, something along those lines.
Well, with that being resurrected and moving a whole boulder out the way without anything being known.
It seems like the sort of thing that you'd tell not in an offensive way, but that you'd sort of tell a child to make them believe that this person is so powerful they can move a boulder.
Well, yeah, but if you think about it as well, that when people come up Christian, they've tended to, of being in that environment their whole life, they've tended to be going to church, they got christened, and then they go to church most Sundays.
Yeah.
That's the kind of kids you look at and they'll be like, yeah, they are Christian.
Right, I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like most Christians are normally brought up in that environment, like around church, around belief of God and Jesus, because they're so easy to manipulate.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you grow up around it, you believe it. It's like you grow up in England,
Yeah.
your brain naturally absorbs the information of the English language. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's really challenging. And then how do you know what is the real thing? Because there's Hinduism, like people that grew up in India.
Yeah, and that's when you get into other religions, and which one's the one with like the three heads?
That might be Hinduism.
I
I'm
think
not
so.
sure.
But I think it's that one. They said most of that came about through hallucinogenics.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, people admitted to taking that a certain drug to hallucinate, and they saw what they saw, and that's what they started to believe in and bring to life.
Totally. Yeah, like that's the sort of shit that you see. It's on the Jimi Hendrix album cover. There's like some sort of Hindu-looking god with multiple heads. You're more than welcome to move closer if it's more comfortable.
It's weird with the beanbag.
Do you want a better seat?
Nah, I'll be alright.
Okay. Yeah, do you want to swap seats? Okay. Yeah, it's weird. Like, it's on the Jimi Hendrix cover. He's obviously he was an acid head, and he's got these multiple heads coming out. Acid's a weird drug, or any psychedelic. Makes you start to really go inside and think about how the whole world was formed.
Well, a lot of people even think is, are we living in the lie? When people take drugs, are they actually seeing the real life? Are they actually seeing the world for what it actually is? And that's why the government don't want us taking drugs.
Right.
Because the government have basically got to a point they've drugged us into a certain way where we see a certain world where if you take certain drugs, you actually see the real world.
Right.
Do we actually know what we're seeing is the real thing?
So the governments could have created some sort of a simulation that we're all inside of.
We could be stuck in this simulation, and when we take the drugs, we're fine. We're living a normal life.
Kind of like the Matrix. That's scatty. I hope not. I mean,
I fucking hope so.
what? That it is all a simulation?
Yeah.
Oh, how come?
Because it proved that the government aren't as like good as they think they are. If we found out we was a simulation, we could destroy it, and we could live as a free person, not being controlled by a government and being held back by restrictions. We could be free.
Yeah, for sure. There's so many restrictions that the government puts on us that just aren't fair.
Well, yeah, if you go back, when we was cavemen, we had to hunt. We had to do everything by ourselves. We didn't have leaders. We had control. Like, people knew where they should be. Yeah. And they hunted as packs, like animals do. We're pack animals. 100%. That's how we're seen. But with modernisation, we've all become weaker. We've all become more targeted. We feel targeted, which is ridiculous. You look at YouTube now, you can't put any aggression on there. It'll get taken down.
Yeah, 100%.
But back in the day, it used to be fine. Like, people would have anything put up there. And I understand you need certain things restricted.
Totally.
But when you got all this fanny assing about over things.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I feel immediately uncomfortable when the topic of Christianity comes up, because I'm like, shit, what if I say one wrong thing? Bam, that's my podcast over. I'm cancelled.
Yeah, that's what I get. Like, it's one person's opinion. So if you're going to get affected by one person's opinion to then want them to be cancelled, you're weak. You're showing your weakness because you can't take someone's opinion.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's 100%. What it shows where, not taking any digs here, but the LGBTQ community, if anything is said to them, they kind of, and I know a few people like it, they take offence.
Yeah.
When I went out to a gay friend of mine, I've asked them straight up. I said, "Oh, how does it feel? Like, what is it like being gay?" Because I want to see more of what they feel. Not that I want to go that way. It's the fact you want to see and feel what they know.
Right.
And he got offended by it.
No way, really?
And I'm like, that's crazy. You're getting offended by me asking you what gay's like.
Yeah.
Because you don't want people assuming who you are, but you quite comfortably say, "Oh, I'm gay." But when someone says, "Oh, you're gay," they'll turn around and they'll cry or something like that.
100%. The more, sorry, I've realised I've put you in the most uncomfortable chair. Yeah, the more, like, if he had started to explain to you what it feels like, why he's gay. Well, obviously he can't choose why he's gay, but then it spreads the word and less bullying will happen.
If people took more recognition of everyone's different and understands everyone has a different background, and no matter who you are, you're going to have your own differences. That's not a point to attack somebody. It's a point to listen and learn, which people don't do anymore.
No, it's very rare to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, people like to throw their ideas out without taking anything new in.
Yeah.
It's an ecosystem, I guess. It's a comfort system, like you said. Society's become weakened by it's a skill to listen for sure. The more you practice it.
Yeah.
Whereas in our little tribes before, if you didn't listen, you'd have your head ripped off by a fucking, I don't know, saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah.
But nowadays, if you don't listen, it's like, oh shit, okay, you work. That's okay. You just do a job, you earn money, you go home, you watch telly.
Yeah,
not-
it's the fact that as well the harder working people and NHS staff, care workers, all of that, especially during this COVID situation, they've been working all day, every day. They don't complain. That shows how people should be strong and committed. But a lot of other people you see, they're crying about it. They're crying that that care workers are still going to work. If my dad didn't go to work to look after the old people he looks after,
Yeah,
you might not have a grandma tomorrow or a grandfather tomorrow.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because my dad's there to look after them and give them their medication, keep them clean, and give them a good day and help them go home safe.
Totally. Yeah. Sorry. 1 minute.
Are you doing a lecture?
We're doing a podcast. Sorry. That was my friendly lodger, Tony Guyton, from a podcast I did before about her books on Litwins, knocking on my door. Yeah, sorry, we were talking about how people have become weak and they complain a lot, and how care workers are so necessary, yet people still feel the need to complain about the fact that they're going into work.
The fact as well that a lot of people complain even though they've got a roof over their head. Think yourself lucky you got that roof over your head.
100%.
Think yourself lucky you get that meal put on your table.
Mm.
Like, a lot of people don't have that anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
a lot of society have taken advantage of what we're given and they don't give back.
Yeah, they don't, for sure. In what sort of a way?
In a way of actually helping our youth grow up to be better people, for starters. Like, a lot of people look at the youth and go, oh, you're a disgrace, or you're a bad person because of the way your style of clothing or whatnot. You get categorised.
Yeah.
Whereas instead of categorising them, put them all the same. Treat them the same. If you treat a kid with respect and treat them like an adult, I guarantee you'll have more of a success rate with them.
100%, yeah. They feel respected. They feel like they have their power.
Because going back to when I was kicked out of school, I got kicked out of school because I wasn't the best of students.
Right.
I was getting into fights, giving the teachers lip all the time because they wouldn't help me. They wouldn't focus on giving support that was needed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got kicked out, so I was sent to a learning centre.
Right.
I was on and off there for 4 years, and for the first 2 years, I think it was, or a year and a half, I battled with the teachers because they still wouldn't listen. And I got kicked out for about a year for pushing one of the teachers over, putting a hole in the wall, and then going across the road and sitting up by the train tracks, causing the train lines to be shut.
Oh, shit.
Like,
What, you sat on the train track?
oh no, I sat on this, so there's this bridge, and bearing in mind cars can drive under, it's a very high bridge, and the railway line's literally less than a metre behind me. They had to cancel the trains for about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Jeez.
They had a police car down the road, and the police couldn't even come anywhere near me.
In case you jumped.
Oh no,
Or-
because I said, if I see a police car, I'm going across these tracks. My life's in your hands.
No.
Yeah, because I was having none of it because they had followed me. I wanted to calm down. I
Right.
walked away from the situation and I got followed.
Right.
But as soon as they allowed me back, after they did all the things they had to do before allowing me back in, they shouldn't have even allowed me, but they did.
Yeah.
They spoke to me. The head teacher, Kath, at the time, she turned around to me and said, "Why?" I said, "Don't follow me. If I need to calm down, you need to give me my space. I've told you this before."
Yeah.
She goes, "That's what we do. We'll find a safe place for you to go." I said, "All right, that's fine."
Yeah.
But I would want to be treated more like an adult. Because I was playing darts, pool, shove and all that at the pub. I was around adults all day. And when I was around them, I was fine. When I was at school, I wasn't.
Yeah.
So it showed difference.
Totally. Yeah, yeah. You must have been feeling like you were going crazy.
Yeah. But eventually, obviously, they started treating me like adults. they actually helped me get into college.
Right.
Obviously, I did my first year of college on a basically retards course. A course for people who didn't get GCSEs. A
Right.
course for people who just don't care, basically.
Right.
And in that, I met a couple of mates. Didn't know anyone in my course, not really anyone at the college. But I went to college every day, got on with it. Yes, I smoked a shit ton of weed.
Of course.
Like,
yeah.
As soon as one of the lads, Corey, he stood up and went, "All right, then, who smokes weed?" This is on the very first day, on the introduction day. He's like, he stands up and he goes, "All right, then, who smokes weed then?" And nobody says anything. And I just smile. I've got my head down like normal, hood up, and I just smile.
Mm.
We go for our first break, and I'm giving out my lunch because didn't feel hungry, just gave it away.
Right.
And then Corey turns around and goes, "So, do any of you actually smoke weed?" I'll go, "Yeah, I smoke weed." My mate Lee, he goes, "Oh, I smoke weed."
Mm.
He goes, "All right, by lunchtime we'll have a zoot then."
Yeah.
Go out for lunch. We're behind the Sports Hall of College, and we've rolled up, and for every day, every lunchtime, we'd literally just go there. And then eventually, there was about 5 of us in the class.
Mm-hmm.
Bearing in mind, most of the originals, Corey and all that, had left. They got kicked out or something stupid like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there was me, Lee, Ethan, this kid called Luca. He's a bodybuilder, fucking massive lad.
Yeah. He was smoking weed as well.
He used to smoke a couple of times. He came out with us every every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had this kid called Jack. He never joined us. He had a stroke when he was younger, so he had all these disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
But that was literally our class. So every day, lunch and second break, me, Lee, and Ethan for sure would go down to Lodmore Park behind college or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We'd roll up a zoo, set up the bong,
Yeah.
and just get high.
Yeah.
We'd go back into class every day, 5-10 minutes late. 5-10 minutes late every day.
Single day.
After every break in lunch, 5-10 minutes late.
What did the teachers do? Did they not give a damn?
Oh mate, there was Gaynor was our tutor. She was fine.
Yeah.
She smelt it for sure. It was always there. Like you could smell it no matter where you went. And there was one day, Rachel, I think it was or Sue, was our substitute teacher,
Yeah.
and she comes over to me and goes, "Has Lee and Ethan been smoking?" I'm like, "Smoking what? You know, Lee smokes fags." She goes, "You know what I mean, like the green stuff, the weed. So you've been smoking weed?" I go, "Oh no, you might just have hay fever." Because he was like, he's scratching his eye, he's got hay fever.
Right.
And shit. And he completely changed it. He said something completely different when she asked him. And we were just like, "Oh fuck." Here we go. But no, Gaynor turned around to us and said she knew, but she weren't going to kick out her last few students, especially when they was doing so well.
Yeah.
Well, apart from Lee.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Lee wasn't the best. Like, I was a bad student. I didn't like work. But
Right.
I still somewhat got on with it.
Yeah. You seem like the sort of person that if a task is given to you, you'll just crack on with it. You fucking do that job good.
If it's a good task, yeah.
Yeah. Not if it's something mundane, like if someone told you to write an essay.
If someone told me to write, no way.
Yeah.
Like, English is not where I go.
Of course.
I've- for the whole of Learning Centre, I never did English.
You never.
In
Oh,
my
wow.
in my Learning Centre, I literally did not do English.
But it wasn't a lesson given, or you.
Oh no, the lesson was a thing.
Right.
I just didn't appear.
Yeah.
I would walk into my English lesson, sit there for a couple of minutes just to roll my fag, and I'd walk out.
No way. That's such a badass move. That's like
Literally.
a Marlon Brando thing.
My English teacher at one point, he goes, this is when I was in year 10, so I've just been allowed back.
Yeah.
Year before the exams, obviously. And he goes, "Jake, I've been told if you can do this English here in this lesson, that'll be done. You don't have to do English again. You don't have to do it for your GCSEs either. They won't even give it to you as a part of your exam schedule next year.
Yeah.
Just do this." It took me 4 weeks.
Well, to just get on and do it.
It took me 4 weeks just to do this 2-3 page piece of paper.
Right. How long did it take the other students? Like.
Oh, they could have that done in a day. That was just a normal lesson.
It's different. Students have different capabilities.
Exactly, yeah.
100%.
But it was the fact I was so against English because I'd never got help. So I had the
Right.
mindset, oh, no one ever gave me help in English, I'm never going to do it. And I had that since first school.
Right. And if a first school teacher had come up to you and just listened, if you'd started to
Oh,
express yourself.
for sure. If in first school, there could have been a lot of differences in my life from first school. The way I started, got bullied because of my older sibling. I had two older siblings, but Leon, my older brother, he was the one that people couldn't bully, so they tried bullying me. To the point, I went home one day with my dad. He picked us up from school. He go, Dad, I'm getting bullied, and if the school don't do anything about it, I will.
Oof.
And my dad took me 100% serious, 100%.
Yeah.
The next day on the way down to school, he drops us off because it's literally just down the road from our house. And on the way to work, he calls the school. Obviously, I don't know. I'm in the school playground. He's on the way to work.
Yeah.
First break came around. I was still getting bullied.
Mhm.
Didn't do anything. I was like, oh, maybe Dad forgot. Dad forgot to call the school. Maybe at lunchtime. But if at lunchtime I'm getting bullied, that's it. I'm done.
Right.
I'm not taking it no more. Lunchtime came around. Getting bullied. And I just didn't take it anymore. I put a few kids in hospital, several sent home.
Jesus. Wait, what year was this, sorry?
This was reception year 1. So
You put kids in a
like five-
hospital at
like
the-
5-6 years of age, because the way it was that we had a playground. We had the main little playground around the school, which was tiny. Then you had to go across the road to one of the playgrounds, which was just pure concrete. And then across from that was where we had the field and the climbing apparatuses and things like that.
Yeah.
And all around we had these proper, really horrible concrete pillars. Like, they weren't just a smooth concrete pillar, it was the bumpy shit.
Oh yeah, jaggedy,
Yeah.
nasty, yeah.
And there was one kid, he just literally just come running at me with his fist clenched, and you can imagine, like, some kid doing this. And I'd moved. I'd literally just moved to the side and I pushed him forward so he'd lose his balance. He went straight into the gate.
Oh shit, okay.
He'd cut down, like, the side of his head, and he wasn't that bad. He was on the lighter side of a couple of the others.
Christ.
There was a girl in the group. Can't touch a girl, can you?
Well,
You can't
no.
hit a girl,
No, no.
even if she's trying to bully you. You can't touch her.
No, yeah.
So I used one of the skinny lads and threw him at her. but she was a big. She was a big girl.
Right.
She was quite a big girl.
Yeah.
And this kid was in her a year above me, and he was quite a skinny lad.
Yeah.
And he lived on my road, and I knew I could have him anyway. I'd had a couple of, like, Man Up Mercy and Man On, like, that sort of thing. We played that on the street.
Right.
So I knew I could have him.
And you did.
And I just picked him up.
You just used him as a
Yeah.
weapon.
But from that day, I lost a lot of respect for myself,
Right.
because after that I started becoming a bully.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? Where I tried preventing the bullies bullying me again, which made me the bully.
Right.
And with that, the school teachers would not answer any of my pleas for help in any of my lessons.
Because you were now the bad guy.
Even before that, they wouldn't listen to me because of my older brother.
Right.
But this just made it 100 times worse. And I still got bullied, but to the point I didn't think it was bullying, because I would already retaliate before they could fully do any harm to me.
Right. Okay.
So when they're using their words to attack me, and they're threatening to gang up on me and beat the living shit out of me,
Yeah.
I'd be there going, go on then, come on, let's go. And I'd antagonise them to do it.
Yeah.
Because I started having fun doing it. And that's
Right.
where I kind of lost control.
Yeah.
Because I lost control, where not getting help and just having fun with it then. Because if no one's going to help me, I'm just going to make fun of the situation. I'm going to do what I want now.
God.
So
man,
that's where I
scary.
became the bully. That's where I became the class clown. I became the school athlete. Because I was doing so much, but getting into so much trouble at the same time.
Right. You were a school athlete.
Yeah, so I was always doing football. At first school, it was tag rugby, running, little hurdles at the time. Just doing all the things you do as a kid, but
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
And I just gave it all the best of my ability because I enjoyed sport.
Yeah, you're full of energy.
Well, ADHD, that does it too.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you got. I know about that.
Like with ADHD, you're always active. You know what I mean? You can't stop moving normally. So
Yeah.
that's where I got a lot of my sports stuff from.
Because the energy was already there. You don't need to do much.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
man, I guess that's why like the thing with the beating up the other kids. That's where that must have come from. The
Yeah.
energy's buzzing inside of you. They come to attack you, and you strike out at them. Man, that thing about being spoken to and like listening to it when a student's struggling,
Yeah.
it's so vital. Like I can imagine. Like, can you imagine a group of 30 adults are put in a room and then they're spoken to? They're 5 years old.
Yeah, and that's what they don't see. And in first school, especially, or primary school as they call it now, the younger kids who are just going into like reception year one, you need to give them more time when you speak to them. So they don't process things quickly like older kids do. When you say something to them, it takes their brain at least 10 more seconds to process all the words that you've said,
Right.
let alone what they are going to reply. They need time to think about their reply as well.
Right.
But when teachers don't give them enough time, they're going to think, oh, I'm always going to be under pressure. Yes, you're always going to be under pressure, but not in that kind of sense. You're not always going to be pressured for answers.
Right. Yeah.
You-
in
you-
the real world,
like,
that just doesn't happen.
If you think about it, if I went into a science lab and I pressured a scientist for the results of something
Mm.
before they'd even known what to really think about their experiment,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get any answer.
Right. Yeah. You'd just be
So it's
freaking the
weighing
dude
it up,
out.
really, isn't it? It's like, would you want to be asked a question you don't understand or haven't thought about,
Yeah.
and then pressured, keep getting asked and asked and asked over and over again?
Yeah. Sounds like a nightmare.
What's the answer? What's the answer to my question I just asked you? I need the answer now. And they do it so quickly.
Yeah.
I need the answer. I want the answer. Can you give me the answer?
Mm.
Well, no, because you keep fucking asking me. I'm not going to give you no answer.
Maybe sometimes they're not asking the right questions. Maybe they need to ask like, "Why do you not understand it?"
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than like, "What is the answer?" Just like, what part about it that's making you struggle with it?
Exactly, and I don't see the educational system being any better. I think it's going to get downhill.
Really?
But yeah, because obviously punishment, since the laws of punishment that teachers can give to the students, since that's changed, a lot of disrespect happens to teachers, and you can see that massively now.
Would you prefer students to be hit?
I'm not saying to be hit, but to be able to have more control over the students. Because if they have more control over the students will be more compliant.
Isn't that the core of the problem though? Like the fact that they're trying to control the students is what's making them want to lash out.
It's not trying to control them. It's knowing how to.
Right.
Controlling them in the right sense is controlling them to the point they need to be controlled and to do their work right. And with those kids with issues, ADHD and all that, do something to actually help their educational. So you pressure them to do work, yes, but if you give them something in an environment, right, to do that work in that they can feel comfortable in, they'll do more work than they would in that classroom. I know it's difficult. You can't just do that in every school. You can't do that everywhere. You can't keep an eye on it. But you can set up certain groups, like classes for troubled kids and things like that. So your school could be more congested with sorting out the troubled kids from the smarter kids and all the differences in your school. And you can find the best way to educate them.
Right. So you split them up into sections and teach them in the ways that they learn.
Yeah. You got to find the way they learn.
Yeah.
To educate the kids.
You don't pick a student that's really good at like listening by hearing things like audiobooks and force them to read books.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like saying you want a kid to do music, but you put them into a room that is them reading.
Right.
they're not going to learn to play music because they're going to be distracted and wondering why there's a whole class doing something different for say.
Right.
So there's different environments that kids can work in.
You could kill a child's creativity by just putting him in the wrong classroom.
Yeah.
Kill his dream, his passion.
It's killing their creativity. A lot. If you think about it, when you're a kid, you got so many creative ideas. You want to go out and build dens. You want to do this. You want to do that. But by the time you're before you've even finished like first school or primary school, whatever you're going to nowadays, before you've even finished, you're being put down. You're being underestimated.
Yeah.
So you lose all that creative mind.
Totally, yeah. You're not being rewarded in the right ways as well.
Exactly.
Like there are kids that like they get put in a competition, then you get what's it, a contribution reward?
Oh, that's bollocks. Got the participation trophy or medal. I get with certain things you need other prizes. You don't just have a winner and like runner up. You've also got team play awards and stuff like that.
Right.
But a participation award just makes every kid feel special.
Which
every kid is special in their own way. Don't get me wrong.
100%.
But you haven't won. If you can't take losing, don't do it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I always used to feel like a tool when they'd give me participation awards. Like, why am I some fucking moron? I know I've played the football game. I know I was shit, but you're giving me an award anyway.
It's false hope as well. Where it's say that for me, I was an alright footballer. People said I was one of the best defenders in our league and whatnot. I wouldn't hold myself up that good. I was a strong defender, yes. I loved the game. That's why I loved to play football. But if I went into a tournament, right, and I was to play my worst game ever, right, and we get slaughtered, I get given that participation trophy, that's just going to give me false hope. It's going to say, oh, I haven't done bad. I've done good, actually. We had a bad day. They was just better than us. No. A lot of days a team will be better than you. You're not always on your best game.
Yeah.
But it's just giving a kid, oh, I can do this, I can do that. Whereas, realistically, not always.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, yes, it may be your talent. You can do it. You get better. But certain times, that it's given to somebody and they think they can do it when they can't.
Yeah. Do you think the participation award could be good in the sense that the kid has done it? It's like a bit of a push. It's not like an award for being a good goalie, but it's like it could motivate them to go on further, to like keep doing football because they're like, oh, got a little award. They're being kind at least.
In certain ways, if you think about it, if you come to the end of any season, you have your award ceremony. So when you get your manager's player of the year and player's player, you get recognised in different ways. So you get your manager, he votes on who he thinks been their best players the whole year and who deserves and shown their best ability. Then you got the parents' player of the year. So it means every parent has a choice to vote which player they've seen evolve and become a better player. Mm-hmm. And then obviously you go to your players, the people voting for their teammates to choose who they think they've seen become a better player and a better teammate with each other.
Right.
So a lot of awards come in that shape. That's the award you need. People recognising certain aspects.
Right.
But you need to show you've worked for it.
Yes, 100%. If I just did a podcast and then someone gave me an award and I knew it was a shit podcast, I would be like, what am I doing it for?
It's like us. It's like starting this podcast and going, "Welcome back to A Spoken Mess, the #1 podcast in the world." You're not.
Yeah, I think Impulsive do that. It's interesting.
It's Logan Paul does it, and I think he's what? I think he got up to the top for a little bit actually, but for the most part he wasn't there. It was Dana White, his podcast.
Oh,
is it Dana White who's got that podcast? I don't know, fucking UFC or some shit.
No way. Didn't know that. I need to have a look into that.
I think Dana White has a podcast. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
One of the big UFC people do.
Man, I guess they're like one of the commentators or one of the competitors.
No, I think Dana White, he's obviously the main guy for UFC. I think it's actually him who does it.
Right.
And it's just talking about a load of bullshit about politics and shit like that.
Yeah.
Where the more we talk about politics is the more we're segregating people.
Whoa, how so?
Everyone has their... so we're segregating people because certain politicians have different goals to do with different people's dreams.
Right.
We're not looking at the wider community and what everyone needs.
Right. Which, I suppose, is that what the Liberals are doing?
We need.
It's difficult because the Conservatives look out for the rich, I assume.
We're not uniting a country. We're destroying it. We're the United Kingdom, but I don't feel united in this country.
100%. I was talking about that during dinner with my parents. There was the thing Margaret Thatcher said, that we're all individuals and community doesn't exist. Something along those lines. And that before then, community was a strong thing in the UK.
The thing is, yes, we're all individuals.
Yeah.
We're all our own human being.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't... No one can change who you are apart from yourself and your own determination. But when you look at communities,
Yeah.
it's about being united together, being able to speak to your neighbours, be able to see when someone's down, no matter what their background is, if their religion is different to yours, if their skin is different to yours, if they've got a disability, it doesn't make them different. It makes them different in certain ways, yes.
Yeah.
But you're different to me because you've had a different start to life.
Yeah.
You came from a different country.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I look at you any different. I still look at you as my mate.
Yeah, 100%. You're the sort of person that has no judgment, which is...
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Really?
I've got a lot
okay.
of judgment. Obviously, everyone has their first judgment on
Sure,
people.
yeah.
Before the person's even spoken, you've normally judged them.
Yeah, you look at their clothes, the way they're looking. Yeah.
And everyone can admit they've been wrong. They've misjudged somebody. A lot of people have done this.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need that judgment.
But
People judge people for the wrong reasons.
Right.
They get judged on their religion, like I said, their skin, their disabilities, the way they talk, the way they look.
Right.
No, you shouldn't be judged on the way you look, the talk, your skin. You should be judged on your abilities and what you can bring to each other.
Right.
And how your skills can help somebody else progress in life, and how their skills can improve you.
Yeah. So
we learn off each other, not by fight.
100%.
We shouldn't fight each other.
no, there's no point. When people work together, that's when the greatest things happen, like Steve Jobs with Apple. And I suppose the only form of judgment that is acceptable is when you're at risk. Like, let's say you're walking in the street, you see a dude that's angry as fuck holding a machete. That's the right time to give judgment and be
That's
like...
not really a judgment. I've seen a fucking psycho. Let's fucking run.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's the time to turn him and say, yeah, I'm dipping. I don't need to be in anymore.
Can you imagine if you were so open-minded, though, that you were like, oh, this dude seems interesting. He's holding a machete. He seems like
it's just
he's killed his family.
She'd go, guy with a machete. Let's go and have a nice conversation. How's it going, bro? What's the reason for the machete? You might lose your head, but it might be a nice conversation.
That's true. A very unique one. I'd invite him for a podcast.
Might not get to the end of it, but
That's true.
you know.
Yeah, I suppose that's the only judgment that really matters. Well, I can't think of any other judgments that really are valid. Of course, there's judgments, and when I'm talking about judgments at the moment, I'm talking about like negative judgments.
Yeah,
like,
you need. To be fair, you do need both positive and some negative judgment.
For sure.
But you need to do that to yourself. You need to give more of your negative judgment to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're so negative on other people, you need to look back at yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Because it means you're fighting someone inside of you that you're trying to beat up other people about.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
When the words you actually say to them are what you want to say about yourself, but you just can't believe it that you want to say that about yourself.
100%. It's like if your friends are, for example, all addicted to smoking crack, and you are also addicted to smoking crack, and you're having a go at them saying, I'm not going to be friends with you anymore because of the and then you realise that you're probably angry at yourself for smoking crack.
You're stating something to you as well, self there, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I was a bit of a dickhead to my friends. Yeah. And for sure, when you're pissed off at someone that for being angry is probably because you have anger inside of yourself.
Yeah, and not saying nobody doesn't have anger in themselves, because you look at these, you look at a serial killer, you can see a lot. There was don't quote me on names, I don't know his name. I watch a lot of FBI files things, murder investigations and things like that.
Yeah.
Just because it fascinates my brain on how people try and pick their crime and how they're going to do it and how they go about planning something like that.
Yeah.
And there was one guy, he was put to death for murdering several people. He was a major serial killer. And before he was killed, they obviously ask any last words. And he goes, I am the evil within you. I'm just letting it out. And it's so true, because everyone has that evil in them.
Yeah.
Just people can't express their anger. People are so kind-hearted. Like, I'm going to go back to Christians here. Christians can be so kind-hearted because that's what they're brought to fucking believe.
Yeah.
But not everyone's that way.
100%.
And people are just judged because of the way they think.
Yeah. There's this whole, obviously this doesn't go for all Christians, but there's a sort of entitlement. Like, I was speaking to a friend, Ruben, recently, who put a thing on his story that said, good or evil. He's like a heavy Christian at this moment.
Yeah.
And he says, good or evil, choose one side or the other, but not both. However, we recently got scammed out of a lot of money by this dude online. He got hacked, and yeah, don't need to go into that. But I was saying, like, but do you feel anger towards the scammer? And he goes, or something along those lines. And the fact is that he has some evil inside of him, but because of the Christian values, he feels like that he doesn't. That it's all goodness.
I think I said this to your mum. If God made this planet, right, surely that makes him the devil as well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because if he created this world and he created everything to do with us and how we think and how we do things, he's the evil one. He's given more evil than good to the world.
100%.
Because since we have all been, like, the countries World War One and World War Two massively, they infected the whole world. It changed the world completely when that all started. And yet every country keeps building up on their armies and their weaponry. Not the world peace, not getting along with one another, getting to know each other's backgrounds.
Yeah, that's it. We're doing Brexit.
Because if you're going to go into the religious sense, you've got to say your God is the devil.
At the same time.
Because he's the one who's gave us these feelings. He's the one who's gave us, apparently, all this strength. He's the one who's given us this judgment.
Yeah, that's true. But if he is the creator of everything,
He's the evil.
yeah, 100%.
Because no one on a good heart could bring evil into somewhere. Think about it.
That's true. Yeah.
If you want a whole world to be kind, then if you're a creator, you're going to make every person kind.
100%.
But you can't have everybody be kind. You have to have those bad people.
I guess that's where his kindness comes from, though, because we'd almost be in like hell. Could you imagine if everyone was loving, kind? There would be no banter, because banter comes from slightly a place of evil.
Well, exactly. But when you got kindness, you got that slight evil. You look at someone so kind, and you you go to someone. I've looked at so many nice people. I've met so many nice people. Okay, imagine them getting into a fight. I couldn't ever imagine it.
Yeah.
Because you can't see that person fighting.
Yeah.
But you can know they can.
100%.
Because there's that evil inside them that has that defensive mechanism that we're built to have as humans. From cavemen and growing, we needed that adrenaline and our fight or flight instinct.
Yes.
We all know how to fight. We may not show it.
Yeah, not
you
on the face of it.
Like, you may not know how to say throw a proper punch or a proper kick, but you can still throw a punch. You can still throw a kick.
Yeah,
You
totally.
can still cause harm.
Adrenaline's a beautiful drug.
You just need to control.
100%. Yeah, and I think adrenaline makes us like lose that bit. We go into some sort of a robotic state where the task is stay alive, keep this human thing alive, this body.
I feel like too much adrenaline actually gets you killed as well, because you're just fighting on not dying or getting hurt.
Right.
Say you're in a bad situation, you're about to get robbed by somebody holding you at knife point. You're instantly, your first thought is attack. You need to defend yourself. Whereas actually, no, you don't. Before you do anything, you need to analyse the situation. You need to see what the scenario actually is in the bigger picture to things. Because if you just jump into attack, you're fucked.
Yeah, of course. Like, I think adrenaline kind of works with the human mind a bit as well. Like, recently I I had an adrenaline moment with someone on a phone call. I'm not going to go into details because that's not
that's
fair.
cool.
But it was like I was suddenly like all the knowledge I had from speaking to people in the past, I was able to like click with this person back and forth and try and resolve it really fast. So I wonder if, like, let's say you're an angry person that's fighting people your whole life. If someone comes at you with a knife, the adrenaline boosts up, bam, you're throwing punches and they're stabbing you in the arm. But if you're the sort of person that's calm and kind and like considerate, and someone goes to fight you and the adrenaline shoots up, you could like click with them and try and empathize.
Yeah, I see where you're coming with that, but when you say somebody's grown up to fight, they have so much. If you look at somebody that's born to fight, always say they're a boxer or something, born to fight. They fight for their job. That's their job, to beat up people.
Right.
You put somebody like that in a scenario like that, they're not going to just throw punches.
Right.
Because they're trained to analyse and breathe before they overdo it.
Right.
That's where we've lost our way.
How so?
We don't have time to think. We always, in that scenario, would think, oh, we're dead. We need to fight for our life.
Right.
Where necessarily, no. You just need to think of your escape.
100%. Yeah, our ancestors must have been put in dangerous situations like that.
Well, they had fucking
daily.
saber-toothed tigers and shit like that.
Yeah. Every day they're dealing with that. Like, Christ.
You got that, and then you got our soldiers who get shot and blown up, and they fight on until they can't no more.
Right.
And then you got footballers. As soon as they're touched on the big toe. Oh, someone kicked my toe. Falling over, rolling around the fucking pitch. They pay big bucks to do that.
True. Yeah. It's a weird dynamic how people are paid nowadays.
Oh,
like actors get paid so much, and it's a fucking hard job, and I'm sure being a footballer is as well. But is it fair for like what the actual value of the job is at times?
think about it. In Parliament, I think they get 75 grand a year. They get about 10 grand's worth of stuff spent on food. Their catering.
What, that the government pay for their food?
Yeah, basically, our tax money goes to paying for the House of Parliament and things to eat.
Yeah, I've heard that members of Parliament also get like, if let's say they live in Newcastle and they every weekend they have to go to London for meetings.
Free travel.
Yeah, free travel,
Because
and they get a free house in London.
It's ridiculous. We pay so much money to tax to improve our lives, they say, and to improve our roads and to improve our lifestyles. But 90% of that money is going straight into politician hands and into food that we put on their table. They complained over porridge, bro.
What do you mean? They complained?
They had porridge for lunch one day, and the government complained.
Oh, what?
Because they had porridge for lunch. Bring your fucking own lunch, then, you cunt. If you don't want the porridge, bring your own. Pay for your own, you bastard.
Straight up, 100%.
We have to go to work every day. We have to take our own lunch. If we don't take our own lunch, we have to fucking pay for it.
100%.
You do the fucking same.
It's just like another sense of entitlement. They're more important than us. They deserve
I get they make big decisions for the country and whatnot. They don't do fucking enough, though.
Yeah,
75 grand to sit on their ass and make bullshit laws
100%. I think a lot of
and
them
fight over bullshit things.
Yeah,
That's all they're fighting about is bullshit things at this point. Over who deserves this, who deserves that.
that's true.
We all deserve the same kind of life. We all deserve to live a life of freedom
Yes.
and live a life where we're not in threat of going into war. Shit like that. But that's all we are. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're always fighting. If the country's fighting against each other, we're not going to win. Because your own country's beating itself up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it would be like a soldier running into battle, shooting himself in the foot.
Yeah, that's where dividing like certain houses, like the way they do politics. They got certain fucking things and shit, like the Labour Party and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's just giving everyone different feelings on what they want. It's giving rich people more power and poorer people less, which makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. It should be the other way around.
Because us lower class people, we suffer more. We see the world for what it is. We experience it firsthand. You go to big cities, and yes, their crime rates might be higher
Yeah.
because they've got less control. They're less focused on controlling and fixing it.
Right.
They're becoming creators. They create their own problems.
How so? What, like,
Well, You look at gangs, they get bigger each year.
Yeah.
They recruit and they recruit and they recruit. Each drug gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Why does this drug get stronger?
Because people want it, more of it.
No.
They've gotten used to it. I don't know.
It's where the drugs being, like certain drugs are being made illegal,
Mm-hmm.
but they changed that recipe just a slight bit to make a different chemical. It's not illegal, so drugs have just got worse and worse and worse because the countries keep banning each drug, and when they ban one drug, a stronger one comes out. They ban that one, a stronger drug comes out, and that's the way the world will keep going.
Right.
And that's how drug dealers and gangs will get bigger because the government will keep banning and making illegal drugs illegal. Where we're just going to make stronger doses of it. We're going to make it stronger and more powerful to move on.
100%. So it's the same thing with these gangs, like taking away the drug aspect of it. You arrest a bunch of gang members, they're going to get stronger because they've just lost members. They need to recruit again.
Yeah, they're going to get twice as strong because they're going to get twice as many people and let half as many people in on what they're doing.
Yeah, of course.
So they may be getting stronger in an army, but they're getting weaker in knowledge by the gang not knowing as much about each other, because then there's less trouble for the hierarchy people in those gangs, because they're not known as much. They
Right.
hide their identities because if they're not known, they can't get to the police can't get to a leader of the gang.
Yeah, there's no way to snitch.
Exactly. So the lower down you go in the ranks of a gang, those people, the lower you go, aren't going to know certain people higher up.
Right.
Like you got your president of the gang, you got your second in command, you got your what do you call it, enforcer. So if you need anything done, you got more than one enforcer. You need more than one enforcer.
Yeah.
You got many enforcers to do your dirty work. You go below that, people won't know who's in charge of a gang.
Yeah.
If you're just a little street dealer, you're paid. You get into a certain group, you start selling weed, you start selling coke. You're selling it for somebody else, who's in return selling for somebody else.
Yeah. No one's ever the boss until you get to the real boss,
Until you get to the unknown guy.
that could even be Boris or someone like that, someone that's working.
Oh, I guarantee you, a lot of the fucking police are into doing with drug dealing.
Really?
I've met a cop in this area.
I can mute that if you want.
I don't want questions being asked in the force, to be fair.
Can you imagine?
'Cause,
Yeah.
I was at a certain spot in the area, and I was doing my normal. I was having a massive smoke, and I had a police car come around the corner. It's a marked car.
Yeah.
So says police and everything. And the officer goes, "Is that you?"
Yeah.
Yes. I'm smoking weed.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, it's just you." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "That's an awfully strong smell of weed for it to be just you." And I'm like, "Huh?" And he said, "Well, the only reason I came down here is because I could smell it from the main road."
Damn.
So he could smell it by the pub in the corner.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Look, I'm not going to bollocks you. I'm not going to give you shit about it because I do it myself."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You do it yourself?"
Yeah.
A fucking beaut.
That's crazy.
But he said, "Yeah, you're going to have to leave. There'll be another officer around it soon." So
Yeah.
I
being
moved-
kind.
I left a little bit later after that.
He knows that it's not doing any harm. You're not
Exactly.
going crazy.
I'm by myself. I'm not hurting anybody else apart from my own lungs, for say.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Well, it's the same. Alcohol. Alcohol is totally legal, yet people get murdered. They say that
alcohol poisoning is so big.
it is 100%. Sorry, is that beanbag that uncomfortable that you've had to rush and squat?
Toilet.
Oh, you need the toilet.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, man. It's so bad. Yeah, they say weed is a gateway drug,
Nah.
but that's fucking alcohol. You get really drunk, someone offers you a pill.
Alcohol's the first thing anyone tries.
That's true.
Anyway, I need a piss.
Okay.
Where am I going?
Right. I'm just gonna chat shit until you come back. I'm just gonna see if I can talk for as long as possible. Yeah, man. This is a pretty insightful chat. This is the first podcast I've done in ages with a friend because of the lockdown, because of Zoom, and it's strange because it's no longer just interviewing about a topic. It's actually getting like deep into subjects that we are creating on the spot, which is, I suppose, what Joe Rogan was doing when he first started his podcast. He was getting high as fuck off of a volcano bong structure type thing. It's by Storz and Bickel. It's just a volcano bag type thing that you inflate and inhale, and then him and his friend Brian Redban would get on and chat absolute was. Well, it wasn't was. They were actually pretty accurate, but they were forgetting what they were saying. They were going from topic to topic, and it could be one of the great things. There's something weird about weed. I'm not saying that I smoke it myself, but there's something weird about it that so many entrepreneurs smoke it. Like Barack Obama, he smoked it. Joe Rogan, Wiz Khalifa. I'm just ranting about why weed should be legal.
Weed should be legal.
Why it's such an insane spiritual drug that maybe connects us to the universe.
Well, weed's one of those drugs. It's mainly a stimulant. It mainly relaxes people, and you see more people on weed, and the more people you see on weed, the calmer they are.
That's true. Yeah, 100%. Unless you overuse it, then people go a bit skids. I remember you telling me before that without it, you might be a bit of an asshole.
Oh, for sure. Like certain people, I'm a heavy weed smoker, and I can't deny it. Yeah. And I will say this to everyone I see who asks me about weed: it's not for everyone.
100%. Yeah.
You have to be in the right mental state. You have to have the right strength to do it. You need to be in the right state of mind.
Yeah, 100%.
If before you ever smoke weed, and you say you've got really bad anxiety for some reason, sometimes weed could be good, yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can trigger it. It can make it a lot worse.
Yeah, you can end up going like catatonic schizophrenic,
exactly.
Paranoid, psychotic.
I started smoking normal fags when I was about 8, 9. That's when I first started proper smoking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I first got onto weed about 10 years old. I'm 19 now.
Yeah.
So that first time was with my brother and his mates. We went out to the football field and we're playing football, and he goes, "Oh yeah, let's get high." Oh, of course I want to get high. I want to know what it feels like.
Yeah.
My brother's like, "Oh, it gets rid of your pain."
Right.
Ben and I, we've been kicking each other in football. Like we piss about like we're playing Sunday league. We don't give a fuck. So we're there, and we got cuts down our legs, bruised shins, bruised knees, and shit like that because we proper going in at each other. It's more like we're playing rugby more than anything.
Yeah.
It was just go and sit at the edge of the field and roll up a zoot, get the bongs out.
Yep.
Sorted.
That's how it's
started.
Yeah.
And I felt fine. I felt absolutely fine. And I didn't start having bad anxiety or depression until after I was stabbed several times, and after I moved away from Swanage. As soon as I moved away from there, I started to lose my head health a lot more in the head because of the history I had, and I stopped smoking weed for ages, and it got worse. It got a lot worse because I didn't have something to relax my brain. I didn't have something to stop me thinking about my past,
Right.
about how I was stabbed every night. Like I'd relive being stabbed like most nights.
Shit.
Like when I got hit in the face, straight across the lip. I've relived that night. God knows how many times.
Jesus. Is that what caused your tooth to be chipped?
Not my tooth. There's a scar through here though.
Oh.
You can't see it unless I shave properly.
Right. Yeah.
But with that, you can feel it every night, and every time you see yourself in that situation again, and you feel like you're getting stabbed again. Like you can feel the tingle of the metal in your lip.
It's making me fucking. You talking about seeing my legs like bounce. It's making me shake. Like it's horrible.
And there's one I got very lucky with, and somebody came at me and tried to stab me in the chest and in the rib. And luckily, just the tip, the front bit of the knife actually penetrated the skin before I stupidly grabbed the blade. But that probably saved my life.
Of course, yeah. Better a cut hand than
I would
liver.
rather have bloody fingers instead of having a knife jabbed into my heart.
Yeah, 100%.
But
Jesus. And the weed calms that at night.
yeah, it completely calms it. It stops a lot of bad falls for me.
Damn, bro. Fuck. Well, not the devil's drug after all. Do you want me to, like, call you by your name when I title the podcast, or should I call you John Doe?
Oh, you can call me by my name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Jake Brown. Dope. I think I called you by your name at the start. Do you want to end it here?
Yeah, end it here.